Hey, everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. It's 1-800-303-3960, or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, time to give official shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international war-winning author Mia Molson-Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you'll love Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is an illusion and those you love will be the first to go missing. It's available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing by Mia Molson-Zia has garnered great reviews and Evil Evan endorsed by Howard celebrities, including Joanna Cassidy, Forbes Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today for Ghost Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon. Also, check out the Mike Wagner Show on over 30 podcast platforms, including Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also, Anchor FM, iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Audible, Apple Music, and more. Take the Mike Wagner Show on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel and also on the MikeWagnerShow.com. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter today. And for great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com and check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast. T-shirts, pop sockets, throw pillows, tote bags, lots of great gifts for your friends and family and loved ones 24/7, 365. Amazon.com. Check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast. And for more great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com/Mia Molson-Zia for great books like Missing, Once, and Wrinkles. Also cool merchandise for your loved ones, T-shirts, pop sockets, hoodies, and also phone cases. Amazon.com/Mia Molson-Zia. And don't forget to support the Mike Wagner Show on Anchor FM, PayPal, and the MikeWagnerShow.com. Make sure you donate generously today. And we're here with a wonderful lady who is a host of a worldwide podcast, and she's appeared on several networks and has her own YouTube channel. And she's got a book called I'm Not an Addict, I'm Just an Ass. And we're going to be talking about her journey as she made the key decision to stop doing substance abuse in 1991, checked into rehab for 90 days and changed her life. And the latest books and narrates a personal, intimate, and an honest road to recovery, and inspiring others to do the same and share steps to change the thinking, healthy, honesty, and of course, plenty of faith, surrender, soul searching, and more. And has her own product line. We'll talk about that. And she's also a health coach too. So if you want to get healthy, you can listen to her advice. And live, ladies and gentlemen, from the Plus Studio, somewhere in New York City or in Jersey, so somewhere on the East Coast, ladies and gentlemen, the author of the amazing book, I'm Not an Addict, I'm Just an Ass. Ladies and gentlemen, the amazingly multi-talented Geri Petito. Geri, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us.
Mike, you didn't take a breath. I loved it. You're amazing. Thanks for having me.
What's great? What's great to have you on board too, and taking a look at the book as well too. I mean, this is a must read for those going into rehab, recovery, and everything. And of course, you have had a really good career too. You're a host of the Geri Petito podcast, and you've been on several networks. You got your own YouTube channel, also on Facebook as well too. You can check out the Geri Petito show on Facebook, and she'll tell you about that. But send her a friend request first, okay? That's very important. And you also made the key decision to stop using drugs back in 91. Checked in the rehab for 90 days, which changed your life. And your book basically just narrates a personal, intimate, diary, honest road to recovery, and a lot more. And shares steps to change your thinking and more. Plus, you got a product line, your health coach, and more. And before getting to all that, Geri, tell us how you first got started.
Got started in radio or book?
Or just overall in general. It's like even radio, the book, and like go to the way back machine. All right. Way back machine.
So something happened drastic when I was young. I had a great family, something happened, and I'm going to share it because I'm a Christian. I believe in God. And if it wasn't for God, I wouldn't be here right now. Okay. But I want to share a really crazy story, and then I'll go ahead. So I was a teenager, 13, 14 years old, and a neighbor touched me inappropriately.
Ooh.
but I was a tough kid. I was from Long Island City, New York. We moved to New Jersey when I was 11, and I've been here ever since, Robbinsville, New Jersey.
Mhm.
So a neighbor touched me inappropriately, and I knew I was a tough kid. I really was. And I said to him, you have 30 seconds to get your hands off of me. I said, or my dad would be in prison for murder. Trust me. So they were moving away in a week anyway.
Oh,
And
wow.
I knew then things were different then than they are now, but I knew then I couldn't tell my parents. My father would have beat him with his bare hands. I couldn't do it. My dad's from Italy, Italian. So I knew I had to tell someone. So I told an uncle, my dad's brother, and he approached him. And he said, you're lucky you're moving away. So long story short, there's a reason I'm telling you this. The reason I used drugs was not because I was touched. I was a tough kid, because I always thought as I got older, did we do the right thing? Did I let a child molester go? Now, I'm going to say something. He was only in his late 20s. And I might have been 13, 14, and I did not look like a 14-year-old. So I always struggled with, did I let a child molester go? And that's what I couldn't deal with. So that's why I turned to drugs and cousins that were giving me drugs and on and on and on. So whatever. I'm going to fast forward now to a few years ago. Important. God freed me of all that just a few years ago at a family party that they were included in, they were invited in. The guy's 80 years old now. Okay. I didn't know they were going to be there. And at the end of the party, he was watching me and came up to me and actually slapped my butt.
Jeez.
Okay, but here's the thing, Mike. That was a gift from God.
Mm-hmm.
That was a gift from God. I smiled and I said, so you're just a pervert. I said, that's good. I said, God just gave me the best gift ever. And I walked away. I'm thinking, he's 80 years old. I'm not going to cause trouble for the family. He's just a pervert. God allowed me at my age now, I'm 60 now, so I was like 57, freed me of, you didn't let a child molester go. You didn't look like a child, and he's just a pervert. Because if he was a child molester, Mike, he wouldn't have been interested in me at 57 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I thanked God for that. So having said all that, what I did was I got tapped on the shoulder in the middle of the night in 2016, really hard. I opened my eyes, and these are the words I heard: write your book. I kid you not. So I giggled and I said, okay. I had poems published over the years. Like, I'm a poet, I'm an artist. I went to art school in New York. I wrote my book. And in 2016, this is how small it was. It was under 50 pages.
Wow.
Okay. And a friend of mine, I handwrote it, Mike, because I'm not great with the computer with all that. So a friend of mine came over when it was done, and she got it in the proper, for me and all that, and said these words to me. She goes, Geri, listen, my uncle's gone now, but he used to be a publisher. We're going to send your book to like 20 different publishers. They may like it. They may not. It might take years. We don't know. I said, oh, no, no, no. I said, God wrote my book. I only want to send it to Simon and Schuster. She cracked up laughing and she said, okay. I said, put your number on there with mine so we could be on a three-way, whatever. And she just laughed. She thought they weren't going to get in touch with us. 5 days later, a woman calls. We're on a three-way.
Oh my
Geri,
gosh.
I'm not kidding you. Geri, we love your book. We're publishing it. So
Nice.
published it in 2016. And I'll tell you about everything that went on after that. But in 2020, I revised it, and it's now over 200 and something pages.
So this is like a second edition for you.
Well, what I did was I kept it. I didn't really do book 2. They gave me carte blanche. They said, add as many pages as you want. So what I did was I kept this in the very beginning, and the first page of the new edition says, from this page forward is my revised book.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I wanted to keep all of this intact the way it was.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I did. So my journey's been really incredible and crazy. I never thought I'd be a radio show host, let alone international and, Hall of Famer. I mean, last night I was awarded the Lifetime Achievement Award for Internet International Hall of Fame.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It was last night. And in 2019, I was enshrined into the Hall of Fame for Internet International radio show. But here's the thing. In 2016, when I wrote my book, Doc G, one of the original owners of Hamilton Radio, got in touch with me and said, DJ Danny, his daughter, would like to interview you on your book. And it was in my town. So I go live in studio. This is so cool. They interview me about my book. And he says to me, why don't you come on board? And I thought, I've never really wanted to be a radio host. I said, I don't know, let me think about it. So for a month we talked, and finally I cracked up laughing. And this is why I was in trouble every day of my life in school for talking, every day of my life. Okay. The teachers loved me, but they couldn't shut me up. I said, I should have been doing this a long time ago. Let's do it. So that's what started it. So then on Hamilton radio, I was picked up by PANJ radio.
Mhm.
Then I was picked up by ONE, which is the umbrella for Beverly Nation and Damon, and now Damon Looks. So then I was picked up by Remember Then Radio, and now I also do my own podcast. So it's just been a crazy, crazy ride. But what I also want to say to everyone out there who's struggling with their health, and this is important, I had 2 cancers way back in the day, my late 20s and early 30s, and I cured myself completely holistically. Okay. I'm a nutritional health coach now and a recovery coach. I don't charge people for my services, Mike. I feel like if someone's really sick or dying, I can't possibly take money from them.
Right.
No, that's how I feel. So anyway, I traveled all over the world through Lenox Hill Hospital back in the day in the 80s. My cousin worked there and she was able to take someone, and that was me. We went to Russia for a month on a health tour. We went all over Asia for a month on a health tour. And I actually had machine guns pointed at me in both countries because of my mouth.
Really?
Yes. And I wasn't afraid. I was like a nut job. I was like, this is so cool. They're pointing machine guns at me. Who could say that, in Russia?
Mhm.
But that was my journey of when I really realized what we do here in the United States versus what other countries do for health.
Mhm.
That really started opening my eyes.
Mhm. Now, getting back to the part about you went to Russia and you also went to China and other places on a tour and everything. How was our health system in those countries compared to the U.S.?
Okay, so that's where I was going, and I'm glad you want to know. So the first, you got to remember something again. I was in my 20s. So they just brought McDonald's to Asia, okay, in Japan. Of
Mhm.
course, the Americans were like, we got to go to see, we got to go to see McDonald's. So my cousin buys a soda, takes a sip and spits it out and says, this is poison.
Really?
I take a sip and I'm like, oh my gosh. So the tour guide laughed and said, you're going to learn a lot. And this is what we learned. Our country here, if any of McDonald's, Starbucks, I've been behind the scenes in Australia, Starbucks, any of these corporations want to go there to any of these other countries, they have to abide by their regulations with the food. So I'll give you an example. Coca-Cola here, 9.25 teaspoons of high fructose corn syrup in each can. Think about that. It's not even sugar anymore. If you go there, there's 1 teaspoon of real sugar in the Coca-Cola can.
Really?
They have to change their formulas. I'm behind the scenes at McDonald's in Australia. My friend said, come on, let's go to McDonald's. I'm like, I don't eat McDonald's. First of all, I'm vegan and I'm also a vegan chef. I've been a vegan for 30 years. And I said, I don't eat McDonald's. They're like, why, mate? And I'm like, because it's poison. They're like, what do you mean? Come on. They let me go behind the scenes. I got photos. They were cracking organic eggs. They had an organic coffee bar, Starbucks organic coffee bar in their McDonald's.
Huh.
Okay. So the difference between all these other countries and us is this. For the most part, we pay for our own health care. So if we're healthy, the government, pharmaceutical industry, they don't make money. Okay. In the other countries, for the most part, they pay for their people's health care.
Interesting.
Okay. So they want to make sure they stay healthy.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't allow a quarter of the chemicals and the garbage and the nonsense that we purposely put in our foods here.
Huh. That's interesting.
Yes. So I've learned so much, and I was very sick. I was probably 100 pounds. I was so thin. I was 30, 28, 29, 30. I had colon cancer, then breast cancer. I mean, I was a mess. And that all ran in my family. Okay. I'm here to say this as well for people listening. Yes, your genetic makeup has a lot to do with your health, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the genetic makeup comes from what these people ate years and years and years and years, and what they did, smoking and drinking and terrible food, right? So if you have 3 generations of the same eating, same crap, that child's going to be born with those genes. But you got to wake up one day and say, okay, I can change that. So now I have to make choices and change. So when I have a child, my child won't have to worry about that. See, we have the power. So that's where we're at with the food part, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sugar. And then I'm going to get into my book. Sugar is in everything. My entire home, even the paint on my walls, it's all organic. My home, my bed is organic. My mattress, every cleaning product, everything that goes on or in my body, 100% organic and natural, and USDA grade organic, guys. Okay. As healthy as I could possibly be. All right. You can't be 1000% anymore. You can't be 100% because everything with the chemtrails there is, whatever goes on, but we can do the best in our homes, right? And for ourselves. So don't make excuses, right?
Mm-hmm.
So sugar, this is what I've learned. And then I'm going to tell you something else I learned and why I really decided to revise my book. Sugar is like heroin to your brain. Your brain can't tell the difference. When you put in table sugar or high fructose corn syrup, your body thinks you're putting in drugs.
Huh.
That is why every addict, 100% of them, is addicted to sugar.
Wow.
Every rehab in the United States, sugar is given to every single one of them. They have soda things where you buy your sodas, where you get your ice cream, where you get your candy, where you get they keep them addicted.
Huh.
Okay, hold on. You look shocked.
I am, yes. And it's like you think that they have access to everything, but it's like they encourage it, and you thought that they'd be given something else. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Not only do they encourage it, I'm going to tell you something. So when I wrote this book, there was something I did not know that I found out later on and said, I have to put it in here. So Bill W., do you know who he is?
Bill W., tell me.
He's one of the original creators of AA. So back in the day, he really had great intentions. That man wanted to save addicts.
Mm-hmm.
But when he created AA, he created it under God, first and foremost. So God was in the program.
Uh-huh.
Okay. All right. He suffered from depression, suicidal tendencies, on and on and on. He had a friend who was a doctor, and I believe the doctor was from a different country because they thought differently than we do here. They think more naturally.
Mm-hmm.
And he gave him niacin, the niacin vitamin that makes you purge and sweat.
Ooh.
Okay. It's like saunas. Okay. I had beauty salons back in the 80s and 90s. Okay. And I would go to do saunas every week. Okay. Because it's really healthy.
Mm-hmm.
So he gave him niacin and it cured him.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So he approaches AA and he says, we're going to give every single addict and alcoholic niacin. And they said, no, we're not. And shut your mouth. And that's, you can see these blogs out there. They're public. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So they said, we have to keep them addicts. So
I see.
At that point, pharmaceutical industry joined forces. Corporate America joined forces. So that's why when you go to meetings, and I don't tell anyone not to go to meetings, guys, because if that's your only support system, please go. But also know this, you're not powerless, not over anything. So they are trained, and they have to say, hi, I'm Geri, I'm an addict, and I'm powerless over my addiction. That keeps you powerless while they have stands of cookies and sugar and everything they're giving you and sodas. So that's why the majority of addicts out there can't completely change their lives, and too many have lost their lives.
And it's mainly because of sugar.
It's mainly because of sugar, because the sugar is keeping their brain addicted.
Oh my gosh. I'm learning a lot from you right there. My wife is also eating healthy, and I'm in a process as well too. And of course, we'll get into your book in just 1 minute as well too, with author Geri Petito of I'm Not an Addict, I'm Just an Ass. But first, listen to the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at SonicWebStudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. It's 1-800-303-3960 or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, time to give official shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Molson-Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you love Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is an illusion and those you love will be the first to go missing. It's available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing by Mia Molson-Zia has garnered great reviews and even loved and endorsed by Hollywood celebrities, including Joanna Cassidy, Forrest Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today for it goes Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon. Also, check out the Mike Wagner Show on over 30 podcast platforms and the MikeWagnerShow.com. Take us with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter. And for great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com and check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast. And for more great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com/Mia Molson-Zia. For great books and merchandise, Amazon.com/Mia Molson-Zia. Also support the Mike Wagner Show on Anchor FM, PayPal, and the MikeWagnerShow.com. Make sure you donate generously today. We're here with the host of the Geri Petito podcast and appeared on several networks and has her own YouTube channel. Also the author of the amazing book, I'm Not an Addict, I'm Just an Ass, with author Geri Petito here on the Mike Wagner Show. And of course, just as well, too, I love that title as well, too. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. How did you come up with it? I love hearing the story.
This is why. Again, I'm an artist, right? So I love funny, cute things. And I'm also Italian and very sarcastic. Mm-hmm. So I've always been called a smart ass. So that's why I put under it, I'd rather be a smart ass than a dumbass, because 30 years ago, Mike, I was a dumbass, but through the grace of God, I can honestly say now, 30 years later, I'm a smart ass. Mm-hmm. So this is why I came up with this title. We're being lied to, and we need to start looking at addiction differently. What we're being told is that once an addict, always an addict.
Right.
And we're being told you're powerless over it. And here I'm going to tell you a couple sentences to prove to you right now that's a lie. Okay? Things have to make sense to me. And when I left that rehab, I did everything they said for 30 days. I went to meetings. I got a sponsor, got my 30-day chip. I wanted to shoot myself because I said, if I'm going to get healthy, I can't be telling myself every day I'm an addict and I'm powerless. I can't be in these rooms listening to these war stories. I got to give it to God. I finally said, God, I'm giving you all. Okay. I said, I can't take this anymore. Change me. So here's what happened. The reason I named the book this is because I proved something to myself. And I tell this to a lot of families. On one hand, these rooms tell the addict you're powerless. You have an addiction forever. Got it? Mm-hmm. Okay. But on the other hand, they're telling the family members that that person that they love, who has an addiction for life, and it's not their fault, who's powerless over it, to kick them to the curb and make them hit rock bottom and don't help them until they're ready. That means don't give them money, kick them out, take the car, whatever it takes. But how could that be true? Because if they truly did have a disease for life and they truly are powerless, how could you tell the family members to kick them to the curb? Mm-hmm. So it never made sense to me. So that's when I started studying. I even studied the brain. There is no difference between an addict's brain and a person who's not a so-called addict. So you don't have a disease. You have a dis-ease of the brain cells while using. And that can be cured within 1 year. It could be anything, food, it could be gambling, whatever your brain is being trained to do that's not healthy. And that's over and over and over and over again becomes that brain's habit.
Repetition, yes.
Repetition, repetition, repetition. So if you're going into these meetings every day, I'm an addict forever, I'm powerless, repetition, repetition, what do you become? Completely powerless now. Mm-hmm. So the same people that are saying we want to help you with these meetings are the same people that are bringing the drugs into this country. Huh. So it's heartbreaking for me. And I've been told by different groups, I can't come and speak because they read my book and disagree with it. So they won't even
They
allow me,
disagree with it. Really? How are they what's
because
the emotion of disagreeing?
I will not say it's a disease, and I will not say you're powerless over it. So I can't speak in their meetings. Okay, because their meetings are, you have a disease forever and you are powerless over it. So they don't want the addicts to know the truth.
So it sounds like they're just kind of keeping them in so they can just, get the funds going, whatever it is, or anything like that. Yes.
You got it.
Mhm.
So that's the way it is with everything in this country, right?
Right.
With food, like I said, everything. Sugar's the number one culprit here.
And also, you also share some other steps as well too, like with change your thinking, healthy, honesty, faith, and everything else. What are some of the other steps that you also recommend? We talked about health, talked about faith,
okay, so I'll share these with you, okay? Because what I did in the very, very beginning of my book, the first book that I wrote, was, okay, I intend, this is what this says, the very beginning of it. It says, piss off, P.I.S. right? Piss off. This book is intended, again, I'm very sarcastic, to piss off a lot of people. But don't worry, that's a good thing. Piss off means possibly infiltrate sensible solutions, offering favorable fundamentals.
I like that.
Okay. I'm sure by now you want to tell me to kiss off, but as you may have heard, kiss can actually mean something different, because you're being told it means keep it simple, stupid. I, however, have my own take. It means keeping ideas safe and sound.
I like that.
Okay. Your goal is to change. Okay. CHANGE. Channeling healthy, amazing, new, grounded endeavors.
I like that.
So now, one more thing I put in here, the Jackass Test, because you go to any meeting, they give you the test to see if you're an alcoholic or if you're, right? So they ask you all these stupid questions and you have to answer them, okay? So here's some of I put one question with all of them in it, okay? Have you ever lied, stolen, compromised your principles, hawked something, abandoned someone, verbally or physically abused someone, put blame on someone, lost your home, spouse, kids, job, forced yourself on someone, woken up naked in a random place, or thought of suicide? Because they ask you all these questions, right? Okay. If you answer yes to any of them, number 2, are you an ass? 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 Yes, I'm an ass. Because if we can answer yes to any of them, we have to start looking inside at who we are. Forget the addiction, forget their test. We have to look inside at us as a human being, right? If you've done any of those, you're an ass. So this is what I did to the steps. The 12 steps are now the new 13 steps, according to Geri.
I like that.
Okay. Number 1, I decided to stop lying to myself and others. Admit that I am choosing to allow my addiction to destroy lives, including my own. Number 2, realize I am an ass and I need to find a power greater than myself. 3, get down on my knees and cry out to God, I am helpless without you. 4, look in the mirror and hate what I see looking back at me. Not to worry, because step number 10's got this. Step 5, stop making excuses and blaming others for the horrible things I've done and instead decide to change my behavior. 6, stand up tall and tell God, I'm ready to go to war. I must fight to be right. Please show me how. 7, beg God for forgiveness and ask him to remove my crap. 8, write down the name of every innocent victim who was affected by your addiction. Number 9, get in touch with each victim honestly and humbly. Take ownership of your behavior and ask for forgiveness. Here's number 10. Look in the mirror every day and take full responsibility for all your actions. That face looking back may soon start to like you. 11, continue to talk to God every day, asking for encouragement, guidance, and forgiveness. 12, realize I have to wake the F up and practice these principles on a daily basis while encouraging other addicts to do the same. I'm worth it, baby. And 13, if you feel like blowing your brains out by now, put down the damn gun. I promise you won't regret it.
I like that one.
And I wrote a poem, Put Down the Gun.
That's rather interesting.
Yes, it could be anything that you want to end your life with.
Hmm. And I think you also had covered those soul searching, forgiveness, and also some other steps, and maybe another highlight or two, maybe just a story. And what else can we learn from it?
Okay, I'm gonna then read a poem. Can I do that?
Absolutely.
All right. So this is how I ended the first book. The poem is called Change Your Choice because, Mike, that's the key to here to helping save addicts and their families. They have to believe they have a choice because they can't continue to believe they're powerless and they'll have a disease forever because that makes them think they don't have a choice.
Hmm.
So change your choice. I had a life-changing moment that I knew had to be. The only way to change things was to first start with me. So I looked in the mirror and woke up one day and thought to myself, I needed to pray. So I asked God to change me, to help me stay strong, to clean up my mess, to right what's been wrong. I cleaned up my diet. I cleaned up my room. I cleaned up all habits with this old dirty broom. I kept going forward and never looked back. I refused to derail, stayed on the right track. I realized my worth and all that did matter through my selfish behavior and the lives I had shattered. Finally decided at 30 years old to stop abusing my body, my mind, heart, and soul. My life changing choice that I had once made, going on 30 years now, guys, my debt has been paid. So you read all my thoughts on how to stay clean. It's all or nothing, my friend. There's no in between. To live or to die is a choice you must make. Your life is not worthless and you're not a mistake. One day at a time is a slogan you've heard. It works if you work it while applying his word. For you to get healthy, for your mind not to fail, escaping reality will keep you in jail. With addictive behavior, sex, drugs, food, or money, substituting addictions now, isn't that funny? I'm not an addict. This too shall pass. I'm not an addict. I'm just an ass. May the good Lord bless and guide you.
That is a very excellent poem. Love it, love it, love it. That's
Thank,
so terrific. And where
thank
can
you.
people buy your book at or check it out?
Okay, so they can go to the usual places, barnesandnobles.com, Amazon, it's everywhere. But go, if you want to go straight to Simon and Schuster, Archway Publishing is their bookstore. You can get it straight from them because I think that might even be a little cheaper.
Hmm. Okay.
Yep.
All right. We will certainly do so. And not only she's the author of the book, I'm Not an Addict, I'm Just an Ass. She's also a health coach. She's got her own product line and also has her own podcast. We'll get to those in just 1 minute. You listen to the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at SonicWebStudios.com for all your needs. Also brought to you by official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Molson's of Missing, available on Amazon and paperback and ebook. We'll be back with author Geri Petito of I'm Not an Addict, I'm Just an Ass after this timeout. We're back with author Geri Petito of I'm Not an Addict, I'm Just an Ass here on the Mike Wagner Show. And now that you're an author of a great book that's out right now and very highly recommended. You're also host of the Geri Petito podcast. And plus, you also have your own product line called Fire Team Designs and also a health coach. And tell us about those ventures.
Okay, so Fire Team Designs, I want to give them a shout out. They're one of my sponsors and they do all my products. So, okay, so silly stuff like here's one of the shirts. Okay, they do my hats, all different kinds. They do different mugs for me. Okay, they'll do anything you want. Okay, so Fire Team Designs, the reason why I love them so much is they're two young families trying to make a living and they're doing incredible. The two husbands that are partners are vets. So I want to give them shout outs and thank you for your service. So that's why it's called Fire Team Design. So they've done everything for me. It's been amazing. I'm on different networks and, I just hit another record of over 12 million listeners on a syndicated station, O&E.
Wow.
All over the world. We're followed by Africa. I mean, every country. My friends in Australia, you have to see what goes on. It's unbelievable, Mike. I never thought in a million years that God had this for me. Believe me. So we're everywhere. And so I do my own podcast as well. Like I said, I'm on the different networks. Did I name the networks yet for you or not?
I think you did, but you can go over them again.
Okay. So Hamilton Radio was the first, then PANJ Radio, then O&E, which is the umbrella for Beverly Nation and Damon, and then Remember Them Radio, and then the Geri Petito podcast.
Okay. All right. That sounds good. We'll check those out. And you're also a health coach. And
Yes.
and of course, you covered a little bit of it. Maybe just go over it again and how they contact you to be healthy.
Okay. So guys, you can contact me. You can call me 609-610-1000. You could email me. I'll give you my personal email for this one, www.jdjerry@aol.com. Two W's. You're going to hear two, but sometimes you type three. It's what would Jesus do, Jerry? And I have to tell you, that email keeps me grounded. Every day, Mike, I have to say, okay, Jer, because I want to slap people. Okay, I want to slap people and I can't do it. So I have to always say, all right, Jer, what would Jesus do? So it's www.jdjerry@aol.com. Find me on Facebook, Geri Petito. Guys, if you have any health issues, please, or if you're struggling with addiction, any family members out there that need help, my services to you are free. I'll do whatever it takes to get you help. Okay.
We certainly will do so. We're here with author Geri Petito, also host of the Geri Petito podcast on the Mike Wagner Show. I'm not an addict. I'm just an ass. You've just been amazing. Just a few more minutes here. What can we expect from you in 2022 and beyond, Geri?
Okay, so that's so funny. I don't even know how to answer that yet because, again, last night in 2016, I was awarded with the Hall of Fame International, right, for radio host. But just last night, Mike, and I'm not down from it yet, I was given a Lifetime Achievement Award internationally. So I'm breathing right now. I can't even believe this just happened to me. So I have a lot in my mind, a lot going on. Again, I'm very creative. I do want to show you something. This is how silly I am. I log everything. Every show from one to now is in this book.
Amazing.
I log everything. So what I thought I would do is start from day one, 2016, and go back to certain guests and bring them back. Because if it wasn't for, I'm going to share one more thing with you. I've interviewed a ton of legends. Oh my gosh, Mel Carter, right? I mean, Ken Brady from the Casinos, the Capris, I mean, on and on. And to me, they're legends. I grew up with this music. I'm only 60. I always say I was born too late, but that's my favorite music. And Elvis. I got to interview Elvis's nurse, Mary, and she's 95 now. Elvis Aaron Presley Jr. I interviewed. Okay. And I got court documents stating he is who he says he is, Elvis Presley's son. So I got to interview him. But what I would like to do is go back from day one and interview people that were in abuse that I interviewed, new authors, up and coming, and see what's going on in their lives now.
Ooh, that's a good idea. Yeah, I like that. I'm getting some great ideas from you, Geri.
That's
just
what
totally
I
amazing.
I want to do that because if it wasn't for them starting me out, honestly, I wouldn't be here.
Okay. All right. Well, that sounds like a really good idea. We certainly would do so. And who do you consider biggest influence in your career?
My goodness, biggest influence, God. I'm sorry, God, because without God, I wouldn't be here.
Mm-hmm.
My family, my good friends, and everyone that supported me, every single one, all my producers, everyone that has supported me, even you, thank you for this incredible interview. But if it wasn't for God, I really, truly believe I wouldn't be here.
Mm-hmm. And certainly amazing. You've just been amazing as well, too. And love to have you back. And what's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point?
Okay. KYW, know your worth. You are not worthless. You are not powerless. Please reach out to anyone for help. Someone will always be listening. That's the best advice I could give everyone. And take it to God. Even if you don't believe in God, guys, this is what you do. You're home alone one night, maybe tonight. That crazy lady, I wonder if she's right. Is there a God? Give it to him because he will show you the truth.
Yes, that's right. And very important as well. Once again, author Geri Petito, also hosted the Geri Petito podcast on the Mike Wagner Show with I'm Not an Addict, I'm Just an Ass, available on Amazon and everything else. Geri, very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely amazing. Learned a lot from you. And looking forward to having you again soon. Make sure you keep us up to date, keep in touch. And one more thing, tell us about your upcoming projects. What's your website? How do people contact? Where can people purchase or check out your book and check out your podcasts?
Okay. So again, go right to the source, Simon & Schuster, Archway Publishing. You can get my book. I'm Not an Addict. I'm Just an Ass. Rather be a smart ass than a dumbass, guys. Okay. So I wrote everything down here because I'm not quick like you are, Mike. Okay. So you can go to www.fireteamdesigns.com, Geri Petito Show, and you can see all my products. Okay. Absolutely amazing. You can go to my YouTube channel. Please subscribe to it. The Geri Petito Show YouTube channel. My website, Geri Petito, Geri.Petito at GeriPetito.com. Go check out my website. That's brand new, and I'm still working on that one. And again, all my different networks, HamiltonRadio.net, blogtalkradio.com, rememberthemradio.com. Listen, reach out to me. And again, my favorite email is my personal one, www.jdjerry@aol.com.
We certainly will do so. Once again,
Thank
Geri,
you,
a very
Mike.
once again, very big thank you for your time, Geri. You've been totally amazing. Learned a lot from you, and definitely have you back on soon. Keep in touch. You've been absolutely fantastic. We wish you all the best. You got a great future ahead of you.
And I want to interview you, my love.